Registration, registration is our right. Registration is our right. Registration is our right. Registration, registration, registration is our right.
for dragging the process of our registration. Thank you very much.
One of the criteria for registration, no, is that the party must have offices in the 46 states of the federation. You have.
We have, but despite that, Ghanaian fought this in court in 2003 when it was struggling to register the National Conscience Party. Ghanaian have won from Federal High Court to Supreme Court that registration of party does not require all these big procedures. In South Africa, if you want to contest in Daura local government in Katsina, all what you need is to go and meet the INEC and register that you are contesting as an independent candidate in your local government. You don't need all these things. And I also want us to know that one of the requirements that we should have office in Abuja, we have an accessible office in number 42, Ademola Ayetokunbo office.
All we are saying, register. All we are saying, register.
We are here protesting the deliberate policy of INEC refusing parties that represent the working masses from getting registered. That is why we are here. The process for registration commenced in 2014. We have met all conditionalities as stipulated in the 1999 Constitution, precisely section 222. We have also met the conditions stipulated in the Electoral Act, precisely section 78, subsection 3 and 4. It is INEC that is now violating the Constitution. We have met all the conditionalities. We have our NEC members representing 2/3 of the Federation. We have our Constitution registered with INEC. We have our party leaders registered with INEC. We have all these requirements, haven't met them. So for us, it is INEC that is violating the Constitution. We submitted our application on June 12, 2014. INEC came with an elitist policies saying that if we don't pay 1 million, they will not commence the process of registration. We pay that 1 million. Despite the fact that that policy alone is meant to keep small parties who have not looted money in this country at bay, so that they will not emerge as political parties. Even at that, we rallied our supporters, we paid down 1 million naira. We submitted our application on June 12th. So we expect INEC to respect the relevant laws of the Constitution and the Electoral Act. By virtue of section 78, subsection 3, INEC is supposed to get back to us within 1 month. Then section 78, subsection 4 states that if INEC did not get back to us, in reply, why they are not registering us, that means automatically we are deemed a political party. As we talk now, we are a political party already. The only difference is that INEC have not issued us our registration certificate. So that is the protest that we have embarked on. That protest is going to continue from Lagos to other states of the Federation, including Abuja, to make sure that we fight for our political space. Because the deliberate policy is for INEC to have only parties of the billionaires club, parties that represent only the rich, parties of the looters to be in power so that they can continue the hegemony. That is what we are opposed to, because we feel that Nigerians are suffering. Nigerians need an alternative, and that alternative is socialism. That alternative is taking back governance back to the people. That alternative is that anybody who stands on the ticket of the SPN must receive the average wage of a skilled worker. So what affects the ordinary people also affects anybody who emerges on the party or the ticket of the SPN, so that they look inward, so that nobody will travel abroad on the basis of trying to treat his health crisis when the health sector is in problem. Recently, we saw the president travel to UK to treat his ear, whereas we have ENT specialist hospital in Kaduna. What we needed is to fund the health sector adequately, so that nobody will have undue advantage over the ordinary masses who are feeling the crisis of unemployment, of joblessness, of no school, no adequate hospitals, no house, no good road network. So that is what SPN stands for, and that's what we must fight for.
Just one line, which we think is extremely very important. Like the National Secretary pointed out, Nigeria is collapsing. In the collapse of all of the previous republics in this country, political scientists, historians have not noted the role the electoral commissions have played in the collapse of those republics. They are responsible. I think we must go on record to say that if this republic currently collapses, that INEC should be responsible for it.
Yes.
And the reason is not far-fetched. They are restricting and denying ordinary Nigerians their democratic right to contest with members of the billionaire clubs who have used the stolen wealth of this country to put political parties in existence. The SPN is an initiative of ordinary young Nigerians from across this country. We are workers, unemployed youth, traders who practically cannot fend for themselves. But we have been forced to meet with the demands of the Nigerian Constitution. Indeed, part of that requirement is that after our form is submitted, a month after, if INEC says nothing, their next response is to issue us our certificate. Under this, even under this alone, it's enough to sue INEC. We must also inform INEC that we are in court with you currently. But even the court process is being unnecessarily sabotaged by officers of INEC. Yes. And how do I say this? Why do I say this? Your lawyers filed for out-of-court settlement, which we presented to our judges and agreed to that. But this out-of-court settlement has been going on for over 9 months as I currently speak. And practically we have not taken any step than to return us to the same process of verification, which obviously, on the basis of the loss of the land, INEC has lost that right to even demand to commence that process. Having not fulfilled the necessary requirement, our humble request today is that while the court activities will continue, members of the SPN has resolved that we will continue with all of these actions in all offices where our members are. We are going to take another day of national action where all of our members will gather in all offices of INEC across the country. We intend to repeat this exercise again in Abuja, mobilizing our members to come to Abuja. Because it is our right. We need to begin to pose alternative to the parties of the ruling elite. Neoliberalism and capitalism is responsible for the continued demise of this country.
Our point which I continue to make to INEC is that INEC has ceased to have the local standing to call for any verification since it has refused to consider our application within the 30 days specified by its own law. Secondly, INEC is a public institution funded by taxpayers' money. The idea of INEC calling on poor Nigerians that want to form a political party to come to Abuja in a single day so that it can verify their biodata, it can verify their passport, is a cumbersome and undemocratic process that is merely constituted for the purpose of denying ordinary people the opportunity of forming a political party. INEC has offices across the federation. What would it take it to have its offices in different states to verify the individual NEC members from those states? But the reality is that the Nigerian democracy is a rich man's democracy. It's a democracy that only gives the rich people the opportunity of contesting for power. The role that is assigned to poor people in this democracy is the role of spectators or just voting once every 4 years. And that is why Nigerian leaders are not accountable. That is why the political process are continuing to return elements who will continue to implement policies that are at variance with the interests of ordinary Nigerians.
Registration is our right. Registration. Registration is our right. Registration is our right. Registration is our right. Registration. Yes. Registration. Registration is our right.
That's what this whole protest is all about, because this matter has dragged on for too long and unnecessarily. It is very clear that it's a deliberate act on the part of some people to keep certain people out of the corridors of political power in this country. And the only reason is that is so that they can continue to do what they have done, and that is to continue to pillage and to rape the resources of this country.
Time is now.
It's heartbreaking that we came to court today, which has already been fixed, for our judgment of the case of Segun Sango and 5 others, the Socialist Party of Nigeria and Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. It is heartbreaking and it is unfortunate that the judge is not available to deliver the judgment, despite the fact that we were at this court yesterday till 4 p.m. to be sure that the court will be sitting. This is the part of the snail judiciary system we operate in Nigeria, a neo-colonial country. But one of the things that is sure and that is certain for us as a socialist revolutionary is that we will continue to campaign on the banner of our democratic rights, which is enshrined in the Constitution of Nigeria. I must also let comrades here be aware that we cannot be deterred. We remain undeterred until end of this matter. The case has been tentatively adjourned to November 28th. But be that as it may, we in the SPN will continue to use both legal, political and democratic means to call for the registration of the Socialist Party of Nigeria. And on November 28th, we will also be here again as an organization of the working class that deep its idea in building a mass mobilization of working people. It is sad, like I said, it is heartbreaking, but it is what we have passed through for many times. For reaching this level, we appreciate ourselves, we appreciate our supporters, we appreciate our comrades and NEC members of Socialist Party of Nigeria who has deemed it at all time to be in court. As the court has been, the judge is indisposed today, we are sure that one day, someday, victory is ours. And on the last note is that the crisis of Nigeria today will remain as far as capitalism and the APC, PDP, other parties are anti-poor political parties. And I must say this, the section, chapter 2 of Nigerian Constitution is only possible under socialism. Any attempt by the bourgeois political parties to do anything is just wasting of public money and wasting of our time. It is time for the Nigerians who are suffering, people who have been shortchanged, to join us in this struggle to end capitalism, in this struggle to get the Socialist Party of Nigeria registered. Thank you very much. Registration
is our right.
Registration
is our right.
Registration.
Yeah. Registration is our right.
No problem. Original certificate of registration sealed by me.
Date, have it?
Yes, you have the date.
Date is 15, have it?
Today is 15.
Okay.
I'm sure.
And your usual signature.
Okay.
The one you have in all our records.
Yes. Typical.
Thank you.
I think you are trying to.
Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. We shall always fight for our right. Victory, there is victory for us. Victory, there is victory for us. In the struggle for our people, there is victory for us. Forward ever, backward never. In the struggle for our people, there is victory. Amanda.
SPN.
Party for the workers.
SPN.
Party of the youth.
SPN.
Party of the poor masses.
SPN.
Party of the workers.
SPN. Condition of hardship and agony that Buhari-led administration has subjected Nigerians to, and SPN is coming as a party to come and rescue Nigerians out of this crisis of economic oppression. And it's on this basis that we are calling on Nigerian youth, Nigerian workers, Nigerian students, to join SPN and help to build it as a true working people political platform on the basis of a socialist program. We talk of socialism. When we talk of socialism, we mean a party that will nationalize the commanding height of the economy and put its management and control under that of the workers, committee of representative of workers, students,